one of the questions that I got this lot, not one of the questions, several of the questions I got this week after I made some statements is about goal setting. When you start a business, how important is goal setting? Somebody sent an email to me from masshightech.com, which was sent to me on Tuesday of this last week. Closing the deal, goal setting, why 90% of us don't do it effectively. Before we talk about this article, let's talk about goals and how important they are. If you follow me, you know that one of my two main favorite mentors of myself is Brian Tracy. There's a picture of Brian and myself. I met him for the first time a year ago. And I'm going out to Hollywood, California at the end of the month, and there's an opportunity, a possibility, I should say, that I might meet Brian again. And I participated with Brian, and I hadn't met him at the time. I participated with him in this book, Business Strategies for Explosive Growth in the New Economy, featuring David Leopold with Brian Tracy. And as I said, I had not met him at this time. I had been following him for 5, 6 years, maybe longer, 7 years, I don't know. And then had the opportunity to meet with him, and I had a thrilling experience as I created a big poster board as a thank you for being my mentor. It was a great experience. By the way, for you folks listening at Stickdown, and if there are any folks left at YouTube on what I'm going to say right now, for the next 10 folks who register to join our community at davidsbarter.com. That's not where you'll go. You'll see a page that looks like this, davidsbarter.com. Look for the red box. Enter the 4 fields of information. Very simple. Will take you less than a minute. It's complimentary, no cost to you, no personal information. Very simple stuff. We make it very, very simple to register. For the next 10 people viewing at Stickam right now who register, after you register, create a community marketing profile for yourself, 6 fields of information. Once again, no private information, just marketing information. Make sure you use keywords, the small business keywords that you learn in the community. And then at that point, you can send me a message. And for the next 10 people, as I said at Stickam, that send me a message, meaning they've already joined the community, I will personalize a copy of this book, and I will send it to you. So what you'll have to do in the message you send to me is say, SmallBizDavid, I want a copy of your book. I want you to personalize it. Here's the address to send it to, and I will send you a copy of the book. Next 10 people from Stickam who do that. Okay, goals. One of the 2 most important lessons that I have learned from Brian Tracy is goals, how important goals are. He's written a whole book of it that I've read many times and reread its importance. And I was also able to purchase his goal planner. And if you read the book and follow in the workbook. And it takes dedication to follow in the workbook. It's 2 pages of things that you need to do every day, but if you do it and you do it diligently and you get into it and you do it on a daily basis, it will only take you 20 minutes to do it. I highly recommend this because if you follow this and you do it every day, your business will be successful. You will be able to understand how important goals are, what you're doing to try to achieve those goals, and your ability to achieve them. In doing this, I recommend that you take 15 or 20 minutes at the end of every business day that you determine. You determine when those 15 or 20 minutes are. Not a certain hour. It's when you want to say, okay, I want to put the business down right now, and I want to move on to something else. In the last 20 minutes, fill out your goals for the next day. Take the time now to do it. And you'll base those goals for the next day upon what you did today. What goals did you achieve today? And how do you go to the next step? Did you achieve your goals from today? If you didn't, why? You didn't work towards them? Or what you did wasn't working to help you achieve that goal? Then you're writing it down, and you can see it, and you can evaluate it, and you can change it when it needs to be changed. So at the end of every day, take 20 minutes, fill out. Now, should you buy this goal book? Yes. Do you have to buy this goal book? No. You can take the basic ideas. I can share those with you. But the important lesson to be learned is you need to set goals and objectives. You need to look at them. You need to do it on a daily basis. You need to evaluate them on a daily basis. You need to change them on a daily basis when they need to be changed, or mark off that you achieved that particular goal. Whatever it is, it's a great workbook for making that happen. And I'll probably make parts of that workbook available in our community so that you go to a Brian Tracy page and find out what those goals are. And his book, if you any investment that you make in Brian Tracy, be it a book, be it a DVD, a CD, whatever it is, I guarantee you will get value. And if you don't get value, send me a message and tell me that, and tell me what the challenge was and why you didn't get value. And I promise you, I will help to deliver that value to you. That's my commitment to members of our community. So goals. He has taught me more about goals, goal setting, goals achievement than anybody. So I'd like to tell you about that. Let's get back to this article. Goal setting, why 90% of us don't do it effectively. It's I took it from masshighTech.com. Found it on Tuesday. Ken Chio, principal at Winfrey Business Growth Advisors, was the author of this blog. He says, and I quote, "Do you have written goals?" My comment before I go any further is, if you don't, start writing your goals down. If you are reading this at your desk, can you put your finger on them right now? I always operate from written goals. I write them so I can look at them and hold myself accountable for that goal. That's why you write them down. If you answer no to these questions, you are not alone. A total of 90% of people do not have written goals. And you know what? That's a major reason that people are not successful in what it is they're trying to accomplish, because they don't have written goals. It is really, really simple. Okay, written goals. It reinforces your commitment to them. It helps you remember them. It makes you accountable. It gives you focus. Focus. Boy, do we need focus. You need to be able to really focus on what it is that you're doing. Have you ever gone to the supermarket without a shopping list? The result is typically wasted time when you go back for the things you forgot, and money when you buy the things you don't need. Think about that. You will be much more effective and efficient in your supermarket shopping if you write things down. If you don't, you just grab whatever it is that looks good to you at that moment, or appears that it is something that you need to eat. You will grab it, whether or not it's on your list or not. But you're much more effective and efficient when you take a list with you to the supermarket. Here are some rules for writing your goals. Number one, goal setting is not just writing all that you desire, although that's a good place to start. Number two, goals need to be SMART, S-M-A-R-T. You'll read this from a lot of people who write about goals. They use the acronym SMART. What does that? What do those letters mean? The S in SMART is specific, very specific goals. Not they're specific. They're qualitative, but they're also quantitative because they are specific. The M in SMART is measurable. You can measure those goals, so that if it's, I need to talk to 10 people. I need to talk to 10 people today about my business. So if you've only spoken to 9 people, then you know by measuring that you fell one short. That's what they mean by measurable. The A in SMART stands for attainable. It's so important to make your goals attainable. If they're not attainable, you'll get very frustrated when you don't meet those goals. The R in SMART is realistic. Realistic and attainable certainly relate to one another. If you say, I want to make $1 million, that's something you can measure against. Is it achievable? Yes. Making $1 million is achievable. There's a lot of people that make $1 million. Whether or not you can do it, that's another story. But to set that as a goal, it's measurable, it's specific, it's attainable. Is it realistic? You don't know if it's realistic unless you attempt to do it. And in doing so, you have to have a plan, a written plan, a specifically written plan on how you're going to make $1 million. I have this this discussion all the time with my technology partner, Curtis. You've heard me talk about Curtis. Curtis is a very intelligent 25-year-old. 3 years ago, when we started to build David's Barter community, one of the very first statements he made to me was, I want to make $20 million off the top of this town. I said, okay. And I stopped our discussion. I said, okay, let's think about what you just said. You want to make $20 million. People make $20 million. The Zuck makes $20 million every day, or every second, or every hour. I don't know what it is, but it's not unrealistic. People do it. Number one. Number two, you operate in the world of technology. Number $20 million in technology. It is not a big number. It's maybe average, maybe small. $20 million in technology. If there's any industry that you can make $20 million in, it's certainly high on the list is technology. However, you have to have a plan, a written plan with specific goals and objectives. It is realistic. People do it, so it is realistic. Can you do it? You're not going to be able to do it unless you write it down, write the plan down, follow your plan. Evaluate your plan on a daily basis. See if you are going in the right direction. And I just had this discussion with Curtis 3 years later, a couple days ago. He has not written his plan down in the last 3 years. And not being written down, it's still out there. I want to make $20 million, but he doesn't have a plan in place. I've showed him how to do it. I showed him that it is realistic for him. I've shown him in the last 3 years that what we have done together, it's realistic that he could realize $20 million on his efforts. But the fact that he hasn't written a plan and worked towards that, he's not going to achieve that goal until he does. And I just said that to him a couple days ago. And the T in SMART, S-M-A-R-T, the T stands for time sensitive or time bound, time relevant. You have to set a time limit to your goals and objectives. The reason being, if it's not realistic, it's going to take more time. And if the time that you're spending towards achieving that goal is not moving you forward, maybe only moving you laterally, maybe moving you backward, you have to set a time to it. How long a time should I take to achieve that goal? Now, that time could change. You might, and when you originally wrote the goal and put a time to it, that time might have been unrealistic. And you don't know that until you work towards that. But tie a time element to it. So SMART, specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, time sensitive. Point number 3, goals are no good unless you chunk them down into daily, weekly, and monthly tasks required to accomplish them. So once again, we're going back to that time element. You put them in chunks of time. When you work daily on your goal planning in a workbook like Brian Tracy's, you're evaluating your goals on a daily basis. That's not necessarily micromanaging your goals when you look at them daily. You shouldn't look at goals daily. Did you accomplish something today? Were you productive today? Did you do what you need to do to move you toward your goals? Number 4, visualize your success. If you are one of the 10% who does have written goals, do you read them every day? 5% of people read these goals daily. Reading your goals helps you to visualize success in achieving them. Reiterating, we see how important that is. Oh, there are only 4 reasons. I thought there were 5. Okay, so goal setting. Why 90% of us don't do it effectively? Because we don't write them down. We don't evaluate them. They just are not SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound.